Hey, thanks for joining us on our comic book coffee break. I'm Nick Gunning.
I'm Eric Mickles, also known online as Dusk versus Tweak.
Yeah,
Please
actually,
find me
I saw a
online.
poster with your face on it at the post office that said Dusk versus Tweak. So I guess you're known pretty widely that way.
At the post office?
It was a wanted poster, yeah. Yeah, it didn't list the crimes, but I've got some guesses.
Yeah, sure. All right, cool. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, I don't think you said publicity the first time, but yeah, you're right.
I said any publicity
today,
is good publicity.
Yeah, you were like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Today I'm drinking Public Goods black tea, organic English breakfast. So not technically coffee, full disclosure, but your boy's not feeling great, so I got some hot tea to get me through.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
What
old do
about
you have to be until we can't say ya boy anymore?
Oh, there's no.
Oh, okay. So we could be in our
there's no
70s and be like, your boy is real hungry for that lasagna.
I hope so, man.
Oh, your
I hope
boy
so.
has to wait. Lasagna takes
Yeah.
20 more minutes.
That would be fun. I like those guys.
Your boy needs some more adult diapers.
He sure does. What are you drinking today, man?
I'm drinking Coca-Cola out of my,
Yes.
I don't know if you can see, whoa. Out of my
Whoa.
Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary mug. My mom sent me these because
Is that where you worked?
that's where I worked as a janitor
worked.
for like 4
Okay,
years.
Yeah.
During my teen years.
Nice.
So, yeah, she had some of these. She sent them to me. Also, I'm coming back around to Coca-Cola. I spent a lot of
Really?
time over in the world of Pepsi, only
Camp
ordering
Pepsi, yeah.
Pepsi. And now
Yeah.
I'm back to Cola, and it's doing it for me. I tell you what, I notice a difference in my day when pre-Coke and post-Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Post Coke, you're real jittery.
Post-Coke, I'm in a
Fresh.
much better mood. The caffeine, I don't know how much more
Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
just to clarify.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep saying that Blow by Johnny Depp is the best movie in the world.
Hey, Eric, did you know this show's brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network?
And cocaine.
No. Oh,
You can find more about this show and others like it on our network's website, radiomeanwhile.com.
.com. Let's talk .comic books.
Oh,
All
that's
right?
very good. Yeah, we should say
Thank you.
radiomeanwhile.comicbooks. Oh, man,
I
we should have
love it.
called this .comic books. Comic books.
That would have been pretty good. I'm going to start with a show and tell because I have a small McDonald's Happy Meal toy here of the Wasp. Oops. My son got this in a Happy Meal, and he saved it for me because I like Ant-Man and the Wasp. And he was like, hey, you could show that on Comic Book Coffee Break. So
Oh, wow.
here I am.
It's nice.
Her wings flutter.
Yeah, it's nice having a kid that, like, understands showbiz.
Yeah. He
And-
was raised in the biz. You know, what are you going to do?
Yep.
What are you going to do? So that's my The Wasp, available from McDonald's months ago.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. You don't feel that you have to as well. Do you got something there?
It's a banana,
Is that a fake banana?
but it's fake.
You have a fake banana. You know what?
Sorry.
What you do in your private life is...
Jeez. This isn't your grandmother's comic. This isn't your. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
How goes your reading? Did you finish Wicked and Divine? Because I know that series has really been... that's been on your tail.
So I read some Wicked and Divine spoilers
Okay.
from Nick.
I just wondered if you finished it.
I
wanted to know
didn't
if you
finish
were
it. I
done.
read issues 5 and 6,
Okay.
which are labeled like part 1 and part 2.
I see.
The Imperial phase, part 1 and part 2.
Mhm.
Pew pew pew. It didn't really do much for me, and I'm having a hard time understanding what the characters want now, because the last volume ended with them being like, let's have a party, and now it's just kind of like, boy, these people are self-destructive, but I don't know. I just have not connected with this series or these characters, so I ordered the last 3 volumes, and I'm gonna finish it.
Could you just give me like your elevator pitch for what this series is? You know, you're gonna be like, all right. So what is it? What's it about?
The gods are reincarnated as people, but they are only able to survive for 2 years. And then they're dead,
okay.
and then it starts all over again.
Oh.
The thing is, it's
Do
just...
they retain memories from life to life?
yes and no. They... they're also
Not
seen as like
informative.
celebrities. Like the world
Ooh.
knows of them. Like so they're
Okay.
seen as celebrities. They throw concerts and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the grander scheme of things, it's just
The
not
god,
really
are we talking
been.
about like Greek gods? Like
No, a whole bunch of different gods. Some
just
Nordic
random
gods, some other gods I do not recognize.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
So, anyways, I guess this means I've read 33 issues of this series,
Wow.
and I don't know
That
what's.
you've never liked.
Yeah, I guess I've never liked it, but
This is
now I'm in
weird.
it. Now I need to see how it ends.
I understand that.
So,
And I do understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. After these were two thick volumes. I mean, the characters I get,
Mm-hmm.
but I just feel like I'm supposed to understand the characters and their motivations more, or I'm supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was another twist, and I'm like, oh, I didn't care about this twist. I don't know. I don't. People
So-
seem to love this series, and I just don't get it.
So is it like every volume is a new life, or they're in the same 2 years the whole time here?
No, it's taking place in the same 2 years. So if
Okay.
if one of the gods died, they wouldn't be resurrected for like another 100 years,
Oh, okay.
and then they would have their 2 year lifespan. So the way it works, it's kind of like a Cylon. Sorry, I dropped my guitar pick. It's kind of like a
Okay.
Cylon, where you're just living your life as a human,
Yeah.
and you don't know anything, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're one of these gods.
Okay.
Dreamy Warrior said Wooden or Warden. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that is one of the gods that are in the book, the god of wisdom. Oh,
Well,
kind of like Odin, I guess. But
okay.
anywho,
Yeah. All right.
I wish I was enjoying this better. I wish this was like scratching that Neil Gaiman itch I get every
You've
now
got
and then.
so many more volumes left.
Just
I wish
three.
you were enjoying
just
it more
three.
too.
It's only
I
9
don't like-
volumes.
I don't like you when you suffer. That's all. I just
This is
I
Image.
just want you to be happy.
This is Image Comics and
Okay.
Kieran Gillen, which is why
All
I
right.
was excited. And again, Jamie McKelvey's on the art.
Okay.
But I can't. Who worked on Young Avengers a little bit, and I liked
All
his
right.
Young Avengers time. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm gonna
right.
send you all 9 of these signed by me,
No thanks. No thank you.
hardcover.
No, I'd rather not. I would rather not. I don't know. I had a strange week in comic book reading, so I'm going to give you the one that's the most like, okay. But I read Lunch Lady in the School-Wide Shuffle by
Yeah.
Jarrett J. Krasaka.
Spoiler warning: I've seen his list of books. It's a strange week for this guy.
It's very strange. I know. Listen, this is my son's absolute favorite series. He got into it during the pandemic because Jarrett J. Krasaka was doing like a daily like how to draw and going through all his series and stuff. So I got him these from the library, and they're for that sort of 8 to 10 range. And it's just about like a lunch lady and her sidekick Betty, who like washes the dishes, who are also like secret agent superheroes, sort of like at the school. It's all like the art's all in a yellow scale. I'm surprised that he likes it, but he loves it. And this is maybe the second or third volume I've read of these. Like sometimes he's like, "Oh, Dad, you just have to read this," and so like I will, and then we'll talk about it, And so I read this, and they are always entertaining. Like I don't get it. I don't think this is something that I, as a child, would have been like, "Oh, she's like a lunch lady, but a superhero." But they're super popular,
Yeah.
and my son loves the show. They have a little thing at the end of the show where you can like they doodle in the episode, and then kids can send their drawings in. And we were watching it recently, and my son's drawing was like in the end credits on the JJK show, and it just like blew his mind. So, Studio JJK is where it's at.
Okay.
If you've got kids, you can find it on YouTube or whatever, and it's been like hours of entertainment for him over the pandemic. So, anyway, Lunch Lady in the School-Wide Shuffle. It's a good time. I don't really get it, but it is. They're clever and they're well done. So they do seem to work. What else you got?
I read Sea of Stars.
Okay.
This is by Jason Aaron and Dennis Hopeless, Stephen Green, and
Dennis,
Rico
don't be so
Renzi
hopeless. Okay.
on the art.
We're all feeling a little hopeless, I think, at this
Wait,
stage.
it says
in the
Dennis
pandemic.
Hopeless,
We're all
but that's Dennis
kind of down.
Halem. I think that Goodreads got the name wrong.
Whoever was
Anyway.
typing it in was just feeling down that day, probably.
How do I describe this series that
I
I'm
would
not
love to
picking
know.
up
Yeah, please.
future volumes of?
Oh, it's a one and done situation.
It's a father and son. They're out in space. It's a weird
With Josie and the
kind of-
Pussycats?
No,
No,
it's a weird kind of space with weird alien creatures and colors and everything.
Okay.
And the
I
son
dig it.
is bored through all the space travel, and the dad's always working and doesn't have time, and the mom is gone. And it's kind of one of those situations where he's like, Mom would have let me play. And he's like, will you just sit down? But then they get separated because of a space shark. And now the dad is stuck on the planet and has to find his son. And his son is out there, and maybe his son has powers and is like surviving on his own. And so this did nothing for me. Somebody described it as, somebody in Goodreads, what was it? One of the reviews said, Finding Nemo in space. That's not too far from the truth. This trucker dad... Is
Ellen in it? Because I hear she's kind of mean.
The trucker dad is trying to find his super son, if you will.
Okay.
But there's a bit of Lion King in here, because he meets like these alien versions of like Timon and Pumbaa.
Live action Lion King?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
maybe. Aren't Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner funny in that?
They're okay.
Okay.
They're all right.
It's just, I don't really... It seems like it's very young. It doesn't... I don't know. It made me feel like I was reading a lesser version of Descender. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't connect with.
Yeah. All right. Well, if the kid's bored, maybe he should read the Lunch Lady series by Jared J. Krasaka.
I don't think that's in this universe. I think it's a universe without the Lunch Lady comics.
It's different. Oh, it's a different kind of universe. Yeah. Okay.
So there is more in this series. I'm not picking it up. And I like Jason Aaron usually more than I don't. But
I feel like I've mostly just read his Star Wars stuff. Am I thinking of the right person?
X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men.
Oh, I have read that. But didn't he write a bunch of Star Wars as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like the Star Wars?
I like, he wrote the Star Wars main series, and Kieran Gillen wrote the Darth Vader series, and I liked the Vader series more.
I remember that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I won't be picking up Volume 2. This isn't I've got to see what happens next. I don't care what happens next. This is one and done for me.
You know what? Just looking at my ratings here, I don't think I'm a big fan of Jason Aaron.
You don't care for Jason Aaron
as I look back.
Yeah.
But no, I did rate the first several Star Wars pretty high, but a lot of the other stuff, I didn't like that Hulk run. I wasn't a big fan of Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine. A lot of stuff that didn't really do it for me. Well, listen, you already name dropped Super Sons, so I guess I got to go Super Sons.
All right.
This is a journey that Eric forced me down against my will.
I didn't force you down anything.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Many years ago, Eric was like, I don't understand. You like Superboy. You like sidekicks. Read Super Sons. And I was like, I don't want to. And finally, one Christmas, he gave me a spite gift that was Super Sons Volume 1. And gosh darn it if I didn't enjoy it.
And isn't it written by... Wasn't Super Sons written by Peter Tomasi?
Peter J. Tomasi.
Yeah, who wrote a Robin thing, like was the only Damien you liked.
Yeah. So you told him directly to his face that time you met Peter J. Tomasi.
Yeah, I think that's a compliment.
It is a compliment.
I met Peter J. Tomasi very quickly. I was like, hey, you write the only Damien my friend has enjoyed.
Yeah.
And he said, well, don't you dare tell Grant Morrison that. Don't you dare.
I said something similar to Steve Englehart, because it was the only time I ever, like, Englehart's Dr. Fate's the only time I was like, yeah, all right, let's read some Dr. Fate, you know. But anyway, Super Sons of Tomorrow. This falls in sort of a weird place because it's like a little bit more Super Sons comes after this, but the story arc is really kind of the last of the Rebirth Super Sons story, and it's rebooted, you know. Then it's a big part of the Superman main title. But this, I'm glad that I read it when I did it, because I actually bought this quite a while ago, like before I had the app, because I thought it was the end of Super Sons, and it is. But it picks up a lot of threads from the Detective Comics run, where a futuristic version of Dick Grayson comes back, or not Dick Grayson, sorry, Tim Drake comes back and has a whole scuffle with the Bat family. That Drake is a major part of this Super Sons. So if you haven't read that run, this Super Sons will make no sense to you. I did read that run. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. It also harkens back to some early Teen Titans stuff from like the Jeff Johns era. So a lot of stuff coming to play here. Ultimately, like, there was some good relationship stuff between Superboy and Robin that I felt like was actually helpful to the series, because Damien's always very much like, we're not friends, we're partners. You can relate to that, Eric. And it finally, like, by the end of this, they're really, he's finally like, yes, all right, we're buddies.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of nice. But I just felt like the time travel-y stuff of it was more convoluted than fun. So I didn't particularly enjoy this volume of Super Sons.
Okay. But it's the end.
It is the end, sort of. I mean, these characters keep coming back, so it's not really like the end, but it kind of ends at least that arc that started with the Rebirth title. Yep. Super Sons of Mañana by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. Did you read anything else you didn't like?
Yeah, that could be kind of describe my week.
Oh.
I read A.D. After Death by Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how the writing duties were separated. Oh, no, Jeff Lemire's the artist. All right, well, there you go.
Okay.
Jeff Lemire's an artist. I always forget that about Mr. Lemire. So what is this about?
Lord help you. You just can't quit Scott Snyder.
Or Jeff Lemire. I keep telling them, like, I wish I could quit you, and it doesn't happen.
You're all in.
Hey, you got a lot of Shazam in your background, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was just feeling it.
It's very 70s.
Yeah, this is from the series.
Okay.
This is from the Shazam series, yeah.
Just traveling around in a van.
Thanks for noticing, man. I like that Fantastic Four. Yeah, they travel around in a van. It's funny, too, because the series, the 1970s series, they travel around in a van. And by the time that series got popular, the Shazam comics was like, crap, we got to put him in a van and have him drive around. And so it happens in the series, and it's just kind of funny because it doesn't make any sense, but that's what they do in the show. So,
motorcycle. Okay. Well, AD After Death is about the world. There's a cure for death, basically.
Oh, wow.
But the thing is, you forget things. You only your memory only has enough for like 1 or 2 cycles. And so if you've been living for 500 years, you probably only remember the past 100 years kind of thing. And so
probably fine.
Your first memory is not your first memory and that kind of stuff. And so
I see.
This character, or the character we're following, is trying to make amends for past sins, but he doesn't maybe realize that past sins maybe he doesn't realize he's already attempted this before, or maybe he doesn't realize that he's imagining things. It's supposed to be kind of trippy. It doesn't really land for me. The end is kind of interesting. I felt very disconnected from this whole story. So it would also break into these large chunk of just prose, of like telling this backstory, kind of like how Bendis likes to do that. But it just like pages and pages, like you're just reading this very oversized book. And it's like, well, if I wanted to do this, I would pick up a book. I picked up your comic book instead. So it doesn't. I didn't like that either. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Poor guy. Sorry, man.
I think people. Let's see. No, I guess it's not the most loved thing either, according to this Goodreads rating thing. But it just. I don't know. The art could have also. The art was good, but those large chunks, there were no art. I don't know. I wish the story made sense. Scott Snyder could be so weird without any purpose or direction.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, that's true.
So, sorry.
It's a hard week for you.
Yeah.
It's a hard week. I've got two more things. I'm going to tell you about another atypical one for me, and that was Dragon Hoops by Jean Luen Yang.
You say atypical, but you're reading a lot of kids stuff anyways these days. This is starting to become the norm.
You're Norm.
Like Norm Macdonald?
Yeah.
Okay. And they call that a Happy Meal. Oh, none of you have been to McDonald's? I quit!
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
You've been watching that SNL channel on Peacock, haven't you? That's where that came from, isn't it? Dragon Hoops by Jean Luen Yang. So I was a big fan we both were, of Superman Smashes the Klan, which was his most recent thing.
Don't speak for me.
You liked it.
I loved it.
I know.
I introduced it to you.
You did?
No.
Okay. What about American Born Chinese? Did you ever read that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good.
Okay. I haven't read that, but of course I'm a big fan of all of his Superman work. But this
Yes.
was really interesting. First of all, this was more like reading a novel. This was 500
It's
pages.
a long
This
one.
it is. It's very long, and it's unusual. It's nonfiction because it's really sort of a history of basketball and
Finally.
following following the team at the school that he worked at. But it's unusual because while those are the major thread, like he is a character in it, and it's also kind of about him trying to balance like his comic book career, his family life, and like his teaching. And him writing this basketball book is a major plot point within the basketball book. And like he has a conversation once where one of the students is not thrilled with the his character design in the book, and so as they're having the conversation, the student's character design shifts 3 or 4 times, and then it sort of settles into what it is for the rest of the series. So it's kind of meta in that way. And about halfway through, he gets a call from DC Comics offering him the Superman title, which was Superman Truth, which I loved. Of course, I loved Superman Truth. And so the second half of the book is sort of the history of basketball, what's going on currently with the basketball team at his school, and also him deciding whether or not he has time to take the Superman gig. And if he does, if he has time to stay on as a teacher, and just all of that is at play. And that's the book. I mean, that's what the story is, sort of split between all those things. So it's very, very unusual, but I thought it all came together and worked and felt cohesive in a way that you might not expect when you hear all the different threads going on in this book. So 2 thumbs up for me. I really enjoyed it.
Interesting.
Was this one that was on your list at all? Are you interested?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it at some point.
He fights a dinosaur.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
No, it's on my list.
Okay.
It won an award. So there's a few books that won awards that I need to read soon. I'm getting through a lot of my library has in terms of stuff I haven't read.
Nice.
So now I'll start having to read all the important stuff I haven't read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you read any important things this week, or just things you don't like?
I read AD After Death. So this
You
is
already
a
said
story
that.
about people who live
Stop.
forever, but then they can't remember things.
Don't. Boy, that was a layered joke, and I applaud you.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
like how you did that. You only
All right.
remember the last cycle, which was me talking
Right.
about dragons, probably.
Yeah. All right. So
I was just reincarnated as a god. I've only been alive for 2 years.
right.
That was wicked and divine.
Yeah, that was Wicked and Divine.
Okay.
All right. What else did I read? I read AD After Death. It's
No.
about a bunch. All right. I read All-Star Batman,
Nice.
Volume 3.
I mean, not nice. It's more Scott Snyder, and neither one of us like this series. What are you doing to yourself?
I had to finish it. This was the last volume.
Yeah, all right, I understand that.
I'm a man who sees his comic book reading complete, whether or not he enjoys himself. So
I
Volume
guess so.
3 is better than Volume 2, for sure.
What a low bar that set, though.
Yeah, you haven't read this one, so why don't you let me talk about it?
Why don't you shut up?
Volume
No, go
3
ahead.
is called The First Ally. Raphael Albuquerque is the artist. Raphael. I don't know why I said Raphael, right? Or maybe it is Raphael. What was the point of this series in general? Did they ever say?
No, I think it was we're taking Scott Snyder off the main Batman story. What are we gonna do?
I
And
guess
so let's
that's
make
it.
up All Star
Yeah,
Batman.
that has
I think
to be
that's
it.
all it is. Yeah, I really do.
Because this series never had a point besides just being besides being the Scott Snyder Batman book. You're right.
No, it doesn't.
Because Volume 1 was a Two-Face story, and you had,
Like a buddy cop Two-Face story.
yeah,
It was like
cha-
it was like
chained
48
together.
hours. But
Yeah,
with Batman and Two-Face.
chained together and having to go on an adventure together. But you had John Romita Jr. doing the art, and that was interesting, seeing him drawing Batman.
The only thing.
And then Volume 2 was a bunch of different artists and a bunch of different stories that didn't make any sense. And then Volume 3 is one artist and one story. So I just don't get what the point was. This was better because it's more about like Batman and Alfred and like their relationship, and Alfred's like past and like how he joined the military, and then why his relationship with his father and stuff. And there's some interesting stuff in there. They're chasing down some stuff around the world. I'm putting up the spoiler tag, so if you care, I'm going to
Oh,
spoil something here.
spoilers.
There's something very stupid at the end of this. Very stupid, because Scott Snyder, it's so crazy how he went from like being somebody who threw in like these ideas of Batman that were just so like that had become like part of it. Like now you can't do a Batman thing without hearing about the freaking Owl Society.
That's the truth. Yeah.
But here he comes in, is the main villain that they're dealing with, this masked deadly assassin. It's a clone of Alfred. Like an evil younger clone of Alfred who has
really
super like ninja moves.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what that twist is for. Thanks Scott Snyder for including that in the universe. We've always wanted an evil Alfred clone.
I've been asking for it for years.
It's crazy. Who cares? And like, it's hard for Batman to fight him. It's hard for Batman to fight even a young version of Alfred.
I guess.
Oh, so I don't know.
No, he's a super sexy spy. Haven't you seen that show about Alfred being a super sexy spy?
Well, that's the idea. He's like, what a dumb addition to the universe. Just
I'm not gonna
ran out of.
That's what you're looking for.
Ran out of gas and didn't realize it. It's when your car tells you it's E and you're like, I got another 50,000 miles on this thing.
Right.
Well, 50 miles. 50,000 is just 50,
crazy.
50,000
would be pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in cruise control. You're like, I'm just going downhill for the rest anyway. I don't need to stop for gas. That's Scott Snyder writing All-Star Batman right now, or had. So this was not good. But I realized my other local library, not the one I work at, but the one that I live by, has the rest of Tom King's Batman run.
Oh, okay.
So I'm grabbing that. So maybe I'll read some more Batman I don't love.
Because do you have any of the apps right now?
I got my Marvel app, but when I had the DC app, it wasn't caught up with the Tom King one wasn't finished. They were finishing it, City of Bane Volume 2.
I don't remember.
So anyway, no, I don't have any of the apps at the moment.
You're appless.
Yeah, I've just got the Marvel one.
All you got is a library card, and that's all you need, baby doll.
It's true. There's so much on Hoopla. I found the that Volume 2 of that Terminator Omnibus on Hoopla.
Right.
So I'm gonna grab that. Cool. But yes, this All-Star Batman, like I dug the first one a little bit, even though I thought it was over dramatic. I don't know, he writes Batman sometimes like it's the Jersey Shore or one of those shows that I don't watch. Just people making a huge deal out of nothing, like, you made spaghetti in my favorite pot! Ah! It's just
Smarticus?
Yeah.
Is that you?
It's just, that doesn't make any... The things that he makes big and everything, it's like, I don't know, it's just... Take a breather, Scott Snyder. Take a breather. Put down Dark Knight's Metal. Walk away. Go write another character for a little bit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Maybe go for a walk. Go for a jog.
Yeah.
He used to work at Disney World. I don't know. Maybe...
Well, no one works at Disney World now, so that's not a great time to try to get back in.
Yeah. All right, so that was that.
All right, I only read one more thing, and it was the thing that I liked the best this week. Well, I like Dragon Hoops pretty well. But I read Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pacelli.
This doesn't have anything to do with The Thing.
No, it doesn't. But Spider-Man is Peter Parker crossing over because of Mysterio, which I didn't really get why Mysterio would be the one to do this, but...
It's Ultimate Mysterio, though.
Okay, I don't really know anything about Ultimate.
Ultimate Mysterio is a little bit more powerful than mainline Mysterio. But it's Ultimate Universe Mysterio that does the thing?
Yes, I think so.
He wants to go over to the main universe or something,
Yeah. But regardless, we end up with our Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe being like, you're Miles Morales. And...
Doesn't Miles get sent to the 616 universe? No, it's just Peter. Okay.
Just Peter. Yes. And so it's like Aunt May and Gwen and everybody meeting this older Peter, and everybody has a very emotional time with it.
Yes, because younger Peter is gone in the Ultimate Universe.
He dead. So there was some similarities again with Into the Spider-Verse, I think, with this, seeing the older Peter sort of come and see them. But no, I had a good time. I don't have any complaints about it. I thought it was fun seeing Miles and Peter together, and I like these sort of alternate worlds coming together, and everybody does now apparently because everything is now a multiverse story. But I had a good time with it. I liked it.
It was a big deal because also like he's now an older Peter, so they're having a big reaction to that. Mary Jane and
Right.
but also Gwen Stacy is still there, and
Yeah.
Peter is like, like, oh my gosh, young Gwen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because Peter gives him advice. Miles asks for advice, and Peter just like sends him like machine guns all these pieces of advice, like don't let anyone clone you, don't date two women at once, don't do this. And it's just that was funny.
That's a good rapid fire at the end.
But yeah, it was a good time. You had Ultimate Nick Fury interacting with Peter.
Ultimate Nick Fury is like, is there a Nick Fury in your world? Spider-Man's like, yeah. And he's like, what's he like? And Spider-Man's like, white. And he's like, sorry to hear that. It's kind of fun.
But yeah, and the art was good too. The art was good throughout this. I remember enjoying this a lot too.
Yeah.
So
I know there's a sequel to it. So I haven't read the sequel yet.
I don't think I've read Spider-Man 2 either.
Yeah.
Because I would have read this when I was finishing up the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this definitely feels like the thing that inspired the movie.
Yeah.
So Jim Lee would be happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because comic books
that was cool.
Only there to
yeah, that's right.
To make movies. Yeah, I haven't read Spider-Man 2 yet. Probably because I haven't gotten up there yet. It's from 2018. Yeah.
All right, I'm not that far along either. Yep.
Though it would seem like less of a big deal because the characters are in the same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does seem lower stakes.
Yeah.
At the very
like, wait a second, you're downtown too? I came downtown. We both came downtown.
You're gonna be here today. Whoa!
Wow, downtown.
Like when you run into your friend at a store.
Yeah, Spider-Man too.
Similar. Yeah.
Oh, this is just like that last adventure we had when we had to stop the Nazis from getting the ancient gold. Yeah, except we're getting a sub, and they're out of Turkey. That's all right. I'll get salami.
Spider-Man 2.
I'll pick a Batman pick since I didn't enjoy like most of the things I read.
Yeah.
Though, you know what? If the Batman pick I picked isn't one I love. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I
don't know.
I picked Batman Under the Red Hood, which isn't
You're
a deep cut of a pick.
Yeah, that and the movie, both versions, pretty good, pretty solid.
Well, see, I don't think Under the Red Hood, the comic, is such... I picked it because I wanted to talk about the movie. I don't think the comic is as good or holds up like you'd want it to, because a lot of the mystery is all about like Jason Todd, but it's also dealing with a lot of the identity crisis stuff that was going on. It's a lot of it building to Infinite Crisis. There's a whole bunch of different stuff going on. In fact, I remember the end had like just kind of stops because of Infinite Crisis. So there wasn't... I felt like at the time, this was like hot news. Wizard Magazine was constantly be like, who is the Red Hood? Could it be this or this? Like, it felt like the hottest mystery since Hush.
Well, that was a hot mystery.
Yeah, so at the time, Under the Red Hood was big news. I don't think the comic... It's not one that I would necessarily hand to somebody, but...
as we talk about it, I don't know that I ever actually read it. I feel like I watched the movie. It was like, good enough.
Yeah, the movie...
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Smooths out so many of the mistakes and brings in so much more emotion to everything, and is really well done animated. And what's his name? The actor who plays Pike in Star Trek.
Greenwood, Bruce Greenwood.
Yeah, Bruce Greenwood is a great Batman in this.
He is good, yeah.
So the animated movie Batman Under the Red Hood is one of the best of the DC animated ones, and
it's pretty good.
It does. It cleans up a lot of the issues. It has a much more satisfying end. It makes the Joker more important for the reveal. It also is one of those animated movies where they have maybe 4 villains in it, but it never feels crowded with that. It even has Nightwing.
Yeah.
Though Nightwing kind of gets the shaft at the end. But yes, if
that's Neil Patrick Harris, I think in the movie is Neil Patrick Harris.
If you were going to look for Under the Red Hood and you had the choice, I'd just say watch the movie. It's only like 70 minutes, but it's very good. It has a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the comic itself is fine, but I think it's unsatisfying because also a lot of the reveals of the mystery are due to Superboy Prime punching the timeline.
Right.
So Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not
It's
one of
hard
those.
when it's forced to like deal with that kind of
Yeah,
overarching thing in the greater
it's
comics.
not an
But
evergreen story. It was very much of its time with a lot of things.
yeah, I feel like everything you just said about the movie versus the comic, I feel the same way about Hush, but reversed. Like
Oh, yeah.
I love the Hush comic and was super excited about the movie and
Yeah.
was very let down by it.
Yeah. I can't say it on this, but there was somebody said somebody swore in Batman Hush the movie, and you just repeated the swear to itself. It was the S word. Somebody was like, "Enough of this S word," and you were like, "S word this S word." So stupid, but it was funny. I ended up liking
You, man.
the Hush animated movie a lot more than you. That's for sure. So,
But you don't really have much affinity for that comic, as I recall.
no, I liked Hush.
Yeah, but okay, but I don't think you'd be putting that any high on a list if you were gonna rank Batman stories.
I don't know.
I mean, you have to care about the sidekicks and you have to care about Catwoman and Batman.
I love
These are things
Batman
you
and
don't care-
Catwoman. I think
Okay.
I think you're putting a lot on. I think I really like Hush, and I think
Okay.
I don't know where we're getting. I don't like Hush. I like the Hush
right.
comic. The movie is definitely not as colorful as it doesn't really try to replicate Jim Lee's art. It's a lot of that dark kind of grimy thing.
And it also is like, oh, by the way, Hush doesn't matter to this story. The end.
Yeah, that's
you know?
that's a thing that was annoying for somebody who like wanted. They did the same thing with Batman. Gotham by Gaslight. They changed the twist and everything just so they could have a new one, so that if you're a comic book reader, you'd have something new. But it's like, well, I don't really want that. I want like an adaptation that if I don't feel like sitting down and reading these 12 issues, I can just put the movie on for, or show people who don't want to read the comic.
And it's similar to what they did with that movie that was based on I think the Grant Morrison Justice League, where Batman's like kill switch for all the Justice Leaguers gets put into action, but the movie just really waters it down,
Yeah, though on a recent rewatch, I did enjoy Doom more than I did the first time. I think knowing that it wasn't going to do that stuff. So, anyway, that's been a quick review of Batman Under the Red Hood from 2005. I remember
finally.
I was going to the library and like reading Wizard magazines as they were releasing this. I'm like, whoa, I wonder who it's gonna be. So,
have you read have you watched the new Wonder Woman movie yet?
yeah, we talked about that. Did
we? Okay.
The
Bloodlines or whatever.
Bloodlines, yes, we talked about that.
Okay, I didn't remember.
Neither one of us
It's
liked
so
it.
forgettable. It's so forgettable I couldn't remember what you said.
I still
but,
need to
all right.
watch Red Sun and the new one.
Red Sun's pretty good.
I need to watch Red Sun and Man of Tomorrow.
Oh, jeez. Man of Tomorrow feels like it was made on somebody's laptop in 2004.
Jeez!
You ready for a little bit of a little quarter bin action?
Yeah, I'm broke, though. Can I borrow a quarter?
I'll just tell... No, but I'll tell you about it.
You won't lend me a quarter, so I can buy this comic.
No.
But you'll buy it and then tell me what happens.
You want me to sacrifice getting my own comic to lend you the 25 cents. I don't think so.
Oh my gosh,
I don't
I'm
think
good
so.
for it. You know I'm good for it.
I'm still waiting on the other 25 cents.
Oh my gosh.
This is the new Teen Titans, number 88, by Marv Wolfman, Len Wein, and others. Came out in July 1992. The story is called Bringing Up Baby, named after one of my old school favorites. Anyway, this is a weird era.
What is the old
for
school movie you like?
Bringing Up Baby.
That's the name of the comic.
Yeah, and the movie as well. Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant.
Mm-hmm.
David wants him. David loves him. David thinks he's a wonderful dog. First of all, I got to tell you, the ads on this are off the charts. They're off the charts. Right away, you got Eddie Murphy and Boomerang. Okay, back cover, you got Batman Returns.
Ooh. We've
got an ad for Cool World in here. We got an ad for that mess of an Atari handheld, Lynx. This is a time capsule to 1992, and I very much appreciated it.
Yeah.
We open with Terra attacking Garfield Logan, who right now is going as the Changeling, which is a lame name.
Yeah, they did that a lot, right?
I know.
That a thing?
I know. And she's like, I will kill you. And she calls him Green Jeans. Jeans spelled Genes, which I had a chuckle at.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty solid.
Before you go further in this, how much New Teen Titans have you read this run? The Marv Wolfman?
None.
Really? Okay.
Pretty much nothing.
I got like a big trade a long time ago, and I had to put it down because it was so much. But I was planning to reread it on the DC app because I think maybe just going one issue at a time and not trying to read like in a massive book and like quickly should do better. Because this is a run that's like venerated, that people like compare to like Uncanny X-Men. Like this and Uncanny X-Men were like the top sellers. Though I don't know if we're talking the same kind of sales in '92.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's funny because some of the character designs don't make a ton of sense. Like Nightwing on the cover is in the classic like blue and yellow, and another character on the cover is wearing the exact same colors and in a suit that's very much reminiscent of the Nightwing suit. It's just kind of strange, but anyway. So in the comic, Tara is trash talking Changeling, and I mean that's distressing enough, but Tara is dead at this point. Tara is dead.
Jeez,
so
spoilers for when I finally read this series.
Yeah. Changeling's like, no, what's happening? Tara's dead. And she's like, I'm here, baby. She's there, and she wants Donna Troy. So we do a quick jump cut to New York. Some dudes, and I don't know who these people are. I did not recognize these characters at all, and their names are not... Yeah, New York State. And their names are not given, so I don't know. They're waiting outside the door. Donna Troy's in there seeing a doctor. She's laying on a table in a very short cosmic mini dress and trying to figure out what's going on.
Donna Troy, right?
She thinks it's a flu. She thinks she had some bad pork. But the doctor says her situation is more delicate than that.
What?
Before we can get into the heaviness of the word delicate, there's an explosion.
Oh, no!
We cut to a mulleted redhead in a suit. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be Lex Luthor Jr. That's what I thought at first. But then his secretary comes in to check on him, and he vaporizes her, like, with his eyes, his face. So I don't know. I don't remember Lex Luthor Jr. having that kind of power, so maybe not him. I don't know.
The redheaded one that we're going to see hanging with the Matrix Supergirl.
Yes, that one. That's what I thought at first, but when he vaporizes the secretary, I don't know. He vaporizes her and then calls the secretarial pool and is like, I'll need a new secretary. And that's basically all we see of this bro, so I can't give you any more information. Cut to Long Island where a little baby devil, and I do not know who this baby devil kid is. I don't know who it is. A baby devil and a cat lady are there, and she's wearing the yellow and blue, looking too much like Nightwing. Baby devil is making a mess. He's tearing apart this house, and cat lady is 100% over it. Okay.
Is this the Blue Devil?
No, it's not Blue Devil. It's not Ian Searing's Blue Devil. So Changeling shows up.
That from Swamp Thing?
Yeah. He's telling Pantha, who is the cat lady, that Tara showed up and everything's going crazy, but they're distracted by this little devil baby who's destroying this house. Changeling's like, what's going on? Garfield picks up the phone to call and check on Donna Troy. And then, the baby's like, wah! And they have to do like a whole thing where they're
Is this not a baby version of Trigon, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. They refer to it as a wildebeest, but they're like, that thing smells like a wildebeest. But that comes up a couple of times, so I don't know.
Is it wildebeest the character?
Maybe.
I'm thinking Wannabeast.
This is just it's not Wannabeast. Definitely not Wannabeast. Anyway, cut to another location, and a lady named Redwing shows up. She meets with the foe, Tara.
Look at him.
Okay. She meets with a shimmering man who looks a little like a Dr. Manhattan type. It's not him, but it kind of has that vibe. And then we have another guy who looks like if they made, like when Knight Rider was really popular, if they made a Morbius the Living Vampire movie and cast David Hasselhoff, that's what this guy looks like. I don't know who he is. I don't know his name, but they're all after Donna Troy, okay?
Uh-huh.
So this team's going after Donna Troy. Donna has now changed into a more sensible green number, and she finds out she's pregnant, and Terry is the father. Who's Terry, you ask? I don't know. Villains attack, Red Wing and the others attack, but Donna Troy is like, an Amazon, so she's fine. We cut to Starfire. And this scene, this is amazing. This is Starfire going through.
Can't see
clipped.
It keeps becoming it's like a giant Shazam thing.
Bottom line is she's clipping Nightwing's hair. She is moosing Nightwing's hair. She's giving him a full makeover, and it is gross. Like you're seeing it all. You're seeing how she's going through and like she's moosing up her hands and everything. It's a whole ordeal. And can you see here?
Ugh. Yes.
So she's clipping. We got mousse here. We got blow drying, and I think, thank goodness, she's going to get rid of the mullet. Because she says, it's the 90s out there, sweetheart, and it's time you finally joined up. But no, she gives him a heinous mullet. It's a very heinous mullet in this situation.
Um,
Yeah.
so Baby Wildebeest
Oh yes.
first appeared in New Teen Titans 85.
Oh, okay. So just 3 issues before.
Yes. And I guess
Baby Wildebeest.
Yeah, they appeared in Teen Titans Go and the Teen Titans cartoon. So I didn't look up the whole thing, but yes, this is a strange baby wildebeest.
All right. So enter the mullet. Nightwing's all decked out.
Uh-huh.
And this scene gets real horny real quick. I'm just going to tell you that, okay? So he's like, wait, you're just going to leave me here alone to debut my new look? And Starfire, who before had been wearing like sweatpants and his shirt, is like, oh, just be patient. I'll be back, and it's going to be worth it. Meanwhile, Nightwing has this conversation in his mind where he's like, why is she so up for it at this point? What? I'm sorry.
Wow, all right.
He says, first she was distant and wanted to be left alone, but now she's almost ravenous. And she says, okay, big boy, brace yourself, right? And she comes out, and basically the sides are totally exposed.
I
it's
see
just
it.
a front and back purple outfit.
Uh-huh.
And Nightwing, this is the actual dialogue. Nightwing says, hamina, hamina, hamina. And she says, yeah, I take it you like it then? And he says, let me roll my tongue back into my mouth and I'll tell you. And she says, don't bother. I prefer it just where it is. And latches onto him, okay?
Jeez, who wrote this? The writers of 90210?
That's what I'm telling you, right? So it's a little crazy. Apparently she's been Randy since the Wildebeest affair, whatever that means. But their makeout session, which was heading somewhere different, if you catch my drift, is interrupted when the phone rings. It's Donna Troy's doctor. Tells them that, hey, we were just under attack, and Starfire seems to know what's up, okay? So something's clearly going on with her. Back at the mansion, Pantha is still over it with this Devil Baby, and as they're leaving to go meet Donna Troy, Devil Baby grows, okay? Once Starfire
They do,
and Nightwing...
sooner than you think.
I know.
Appreciate the baby devils while you have them.
Once Starfire and Nightwing get to Donna Troy, Redwing, who has like been captured, is like, great, Nightwing is here. He's my partner. This is going to be great. Where have you been, Nightwing, who's my partner? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who you are. And she's like, oh no, the time travel has messed up your mind or something like that. And that's all we get. She says, don't tell me the time tripping wiped out your memory. The leader said it could. That's all we get. That's all we get. Okay. So suddenly Donna doubles over in pain and the doctor announces to everyone, you're pregnant and there's something desperately wrong with your baby. The end. That's a cliffhanger.
Wow. Tell you
Next, Doom, thy name is Destiny.
I said I had an issue reading like the first however many were in the volume because it was just so dense. It's nice to see Marv Wolfman didn't slow down 88 issues in.
No, he's still going strong. I know, that's the thing. I was like, I mean, first of all, there's that old rule that every comic could be someone's first comic. If this was your first comic, you wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I know these characters, but some of these characters you never get a name drop, and there's not even like a cursory explanation of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what's going on with this.
Right.
But I didn't hate it. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I could see myself maybe reading a little bit of this.
Yeah, when I get the DC app again, I'm gonna have to go back and give
issue by issue
this series another chance because like
I think
it is
should.
It's always spoken in the same breath as like the 80s X-Men.
Yeah.
But then I think, and I mean, they even crossed over. This is the book that crossed over and was actually very good.
Yeah.
One of the few crossovers that actually felt like it had some oomph.
It makes total sense.
I have an issue of that. Do you? I think you do, right? The single issue of the X-Men Teen Titans crossover?
No, I don't think I do actually. But the crossover classics, like in paperback, was probably the first like trade paperback that I ever bought. I was desperate to get it.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. They don't all work. Like Superman, Spider-Man is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Batman, Hulk is really dull.
Yeah.
You know, it's hit and miss.
The Amalgam universe is a mess.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's a hot mess.
The only one that I've ever thought was like truly aces was the Justice League Avengers crossover that Kurt Busiek did, which is
I don't
great.
think I've read that.
It's great.
I love a good crossover.
I think at one point, Punisher's like, "Time to use my guns," and Batman's like, "You disgust me."
That
So,
sounds right.
I mean, one of the covers has Superman holding Thor's hammer and Cap's shield. So
That's fun.
that's all you
That's
need
pretty
to
cool.
know about what's going to
That's
happen.
yeah. I'd watch that.
Yeah,
What do you got on the list for this coming week? There were things I was intended and I didn't get to. I was going to read
yeah.
the Eternals. I was going to read, yeah, maybe pick up that Green Arrow run that I was reading and I've kind of gotten away from. But I just ran out of time. I don't know.
I did have an attended, but I took too long, and so she married another man, and little old timey language there. I got
yeah.
I got Wonder Woman, Dead Earth to read.
Okay, cool.
I've got 3 volumes of Wicked and Divine to finish.
God.
I went back to New Mutants to finish the New Mutants. Not finish, but continue on my New Mutants reading.
Right.
I got some other books from the library, so yeah, I got some other comics. Yeah, I definitely I go through these cycles where it's like all I read is X-Men, then I start reading like the Marvel universe proper, then I want to read a bunch of Batman, and then I get into a bunch of like this Image independent kind of stuff, and I'm definitely feeling like I'm in the end of the Image cycle, and now I want to get back to a bunch of X-Men Batman stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like the problem is I feel a little unfocused with my X-Men stuff because I'm basically caught up with the app, and then I finished all the Chris Claremont stuff, so I've been reading New Mutants. But then there's like the 90s stuff, which I've read, but I haven't read everything from, but also they're not all on the app. So it's just, I feel a little, I'm listless. I'm in the ocean. I don't got an oar.
I get it. I feel like the app, in some ways, both of them really, are kind of a double-edged sword because like Spider-Man has always been my go-to, like if I'm feeling down and full disclosure, I feel like crap. That would be like my go-to, when I was feeling like down and depressio. Like Spider-Man would always sort of cheer me up, and so that's why I was reading Spider-Man Worldwide and stuff. I would just kind of always go back to that. But now with the app, it's like, oh, I'm not there yet. Like I'm trying to read the things that lead up to it. So it's like, I don't know. It's sometimes I think like my weird anal brain stops me from like jumping to that because I'm like, no, I have to read the rest of that lame Captain America run before I get to the next
frustrating
Spider-Man.
because I was like, oh, I'm going to read all the Spider-Man comics on this app, but they like the Spectacular Spider-Man title has gaps in it on the app. And it's just like, why? Why would this be a thing? Yeah. So I don't. Anyway.
That's what I appreciate about the DC app because remember when it launched, it was garbage, and then like as it's been filling out, and it certainly still has gaps, but sometimes I'll be reading along and it's crisp and it's clear, and then I'll get to an issue that really looks like somebody had like an old Polaroid and like took pictures of each page, and I'm like, fine, I'll take it. I just want the story. I don't care if it's not pristine. And so I like that DC has finally started doing that when they don't have like the clarity or whatever it is. It's like they're really scanning in actual print pages, which is pretty effective, and it's actually kind of nice to have that throwback look to it as well. So I like that.
So,
but yeah, it trips me up sometimes trying to like be a completist.
Yeah.
Well, Eternals. I'm putting the Eternals in the hopper. I'm gonna finish the Jack Kirby Eternals
just in time for the movie that was supposed to come out last month.
That's actually why I started reading Eternals too. I was like, oh, I should probably before that comes out. But I also read a ton of Black Widow like a year ago. It was all bad. In case you're wondering.
Oh.
I feel like Marie Lu has a Black Widow that's decent, but it's not really long enough to really settle into it. So I haven't read the brand new Black Widow stuff, but I've not really read that character and when I've enjoyed it. So.
Well, I won't be able to finish the Tom King Batman because I was number 2 on the holds. So somebody else is going to get them before me. All 3 of them.
So. Oh,
it's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
I'll never get to read City of Bane Volume 1 or City of Bane Volume 2.
Well, just do your best. Keep reading comic books that you hate.
I think it's going to be okay. We're done with Wicked and Divine, 3 volumes. And then I'm moving on.
3 volumes?
Yeah, well, the good news is the volumes look bigger than the past volumes.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, Eric, did you know
that, we have an end we do for this, right? That's why I'm so listless too.
Yes, we usually do. Well, Eric and I just wrapped 5 years and 275 episodes on the All the Book Show for the David A. Howe Public Library. That episode came out November 30th was the last episode there.
Whoa.
It was a tearjerker. Let me tell you, we did get some nice comments, which was nice to see. So you can still listen to the All the Book Show. The feed is still active, so you can go back and find all that. We're launching a new podcast from the David A. Howe Public Library called How's Things, and we've got a couple of Christmas episodes in store there. So you can still find it at soundcloud.com/allthebooks. I'm not going to change that because it's linked from too many author pages. I don't want to make all those author links dead.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be soundcloud.com/allthebooks, or you can search How's Things on any podcast app that you had and find it, because I've got an interview with Melody Carlson, who's a big Christmas author, coming up. We've got a cozy Christmas book club where we tear apart some old cozy Christmas books. Eric, is that why you decided to step away from the All the Book Show, because you didn't want to be forced to read a cozy Christmas book? You can be honest. If that's why, just
yeah.
I'm also the co-host of 902 and Here We Go, right here on the Radio Meanwhile Network. Yeah. So you can find us there as we're working our way through season 4 and getting ready to cover a schmaltzy Christmas movie starring a 90210 alum. It's called USS Christmas, and it is horrible.
Oh, great.
So that should be fun. What about you, buddy? What are you doing in the podcast world these days?
I also host Previously on X-Men on the Radio Meanwhile Network. The new episode is airing tomorrow.
WTF. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
We took a hiatus. It was totally a planned hiatus. But Previously on X-Men it's the Logan episode. So actually one of the shorter movie ones, only about 2 hours and 15 minutes of us talking about Logan.
Wow.
So
I'm excited to hear it.
And then also I do 90s Music's Got Me Like, which is a podcast where we look back at one song from the 90s every episode. And the episode that comes out Monday is All Star by Smash Mouth. Yeah. Yep. I come in hot.
I not hear that song without thinking of Rat Race.
I asked specifically what movie this song the first time you heard it in, because there's Shrek, there's Rat Race, there's Digimon, there's Mystery Men, there's Inspector Gadget.
Right. That's right.
We talked about that for sure. So I definitely come in at 11. Cool. I come in hot, kind of bop, aggressive to talk about All-Star.
You don't like All-Star?
Well, we'll see.
Wow. So let me ask, is your thing doing podcasts about things you don't enjoy?
We talked about Save Tonight. I like Save Tonight.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, I talked about Logan.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
You did.
All right. I'm going to swallow this guitar pick as we say goodbye.
No,
right,
don't.
Goodbye, everybody.
So long.